Hello everyone, welcome to Reverse Coding 101. I apologize, I put up the PowerPoint that I was using for the video and no video to help you through this process. So let me just kind of give you a little background. I think as I show you some of these things, it will help you understand what we're trying to accomplish. And if you need to redo your correlation assignment, that's okay too. And in fact, while we're talking about the correlation assignment, I did realize as I went back and looked at the responses for the quiz questions that it's probably a little confusing the way the quiz correct answers are set up. And it's not because the quiz responses or the correct answers are incorrect. Those are actually correct. But it's the way the question's worded and the way you're looking at the answer, I think that's causing some confusion. So I'm probably going to add another layer of, hey, just do this and let me look at this and we'll see if we can't clear that up. What I was trying to accomplish with the quiz was to help you check your answer right quick and move along. And instead, I created more confusion than if I had just done it what amounts to the harder way to grade it of upload your output, let me grade your output and send that back to you. I was trying to get away from that model and get more to a model of, does your answer look like this? So I will probably fix it so you can upload your correlation output from SPSS. I'll just look at that for this assignment and call that done. And just disregard the quiz because that ended up being too confusing this time. But that is still what I'm after with this, is to be able to fix a quiz that lets you kind of check your answers. Did you get the right thing compared to what I had? So we'll see what we can do. See if we can maybe get it fine-tuned for this t-test module that you're working on. All right, so all of that set aside, let's talk about reverse coding for a minute. Here's why reverse coding is important. Let's go back to the survey that this entire data set is based on. All right, so let me zoom in so you can see a little better. Zoom, zoom. All right, so what I did was I created a code book for the survey that is, I guess what I would call my code book. And you can see that when I would do it for that first construct, the responses would have been coded 0, 1, 2, 3. For the second construct, the responses are all coded 1, 2, 3, 4. But the one that is in question, that you are recoding, reverse coding for to use the correct terminology, is actually in construct 3, the CAS construct. That's the one that has 2 items, and we are going to recode item 2. Because if you read item 2, it's not really a problem if my neighbors are in trouble and need help. What you realize pretty quickly is, I don't really want them to agree with that statement. I want them to disagree with that statement. So you reverse code to line up what you really want the response to be with your coding scheme, right? So reverse code, and you can see right here, for item 1, we're still going in the direction we've been going in, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. But for item 2, we're going to reverse code and do that 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, now let's go to SPSS and see how to do this. I think if you see it in action, the instructions will make a whole lot more sense. Okay, so on the data view, we can just scroll on over. And just to remind you, we're going to be recoding the responses for CAS2, okay? All right, so what we want to do is transform. I am never going to lose my original data. So when I transform, I'm always going to recode into a different variable. And I'm going to tell it that I want to recode CAS2. And I'm going to name that CAS2 recode. To recode. All right? And, you know, you could probably look at any of my data sets and they're going to look like this. You will kind of develop your own system for doing data analysis, but you know, when you have a method that you reuse over and over again, it helps you as you go from one data set to the next. You could look at one of my data sets from 10 years ago and say, oh, there's a recode column. She recoded the data that was in this column to be this in this other column. So, all right, a lot of little extraneous information for you. But what we're going to do is we're going to change the value. Uh-oh, my survey's gone. I turned around to show you the survey. Survey's not there. All right, the value that originally would have been 1, the strongly disagree, right? We're going to make strongly disagree 4 and add. We're going to make disagree 3 and add. We're going to make agree 2 and add. And we're going to make strongly agree, which would have been labeled 4, right? 1 and add. So now you can see the old values from strongly disagree to strongly agree would have been 1, 2, 3, 4. But now we're going to reverse code those and make it 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay? Tell it to continue. Tell it okay. Now I'm going to go to variable view and I am going to move that variable up there by CAS2. Go back to data view. I don't want that 2 decimal points in there. I'm going to take that out, make that 0. Now I'm going to go back and see, look, if it had a 1 as the coding before, now it's a 4. 2 became 3, 3 became 2, right? Okay, so then you're going to create a mean score for CAS based on CAS1 and CAS2 recode. Let's just do that right quick. It'll help you get to the end quicker. So now let's just call this the CAS construct. We'll call this new. That way it stands out from, say, if you'd already done it with the old coding. And we're going to do the mean. And we're going to do CAS1 and CAS2 recode. And okay. Now you have seen how you can recode the variable from the old coding to the new coding. Thanks.